Good morning and happy Tuesday, YouTube world and traders trying to learn how to trade. I just wanted to go over today really quickly, and I forgot to post the Monday trade. I just posted it, so that should be up just a minute. I was going to do it last night before I went to bed and forgot to, but I just got it. It should be getting posted right now. But let's go back to speaking of Monday. Let's go back to that Monday trade. We kind of did a little bit of journaling on there. Today's trade is going to be really good because talking about momentum, this is one that might be a little bit, it's another little nuance to it. And the more you do, the better you're going to become. But a couple things I want to point out in here as well. All right, so this was the trade. We took it based on the momentum. All right, 60 double the ATR. And I like the trade ratio tool because you can just you don't have to, you either have to do math or you have to, you know, this you can just put the ATR to 100 and then you can see what it is at double 47. Sometimes it's not exactly correct, but gives you a good idea. So we're at 74. All right, yes. And we'll take a trade on that one. I think yesterday the ATR was at 76, but anyway. Okay. 74, sell. We talked about this before, but I might have wanted to just make sure my stop loss was up above that. It doesn't make a difference. We kind of already goes up and it wicks me out. But I wanted to kind of talk about this. Oh, that's why it wasn't making any sense because that was not the 7 o'clock. Ugh. Let's do that again. So it was 38, which would have been 76. That didn't make. Should have looked a little bit closer. So I remember yesterday, I swear it was above it. There we go. So that's the 7 o'clock hour. We'll take that sell trade. There we go. And let's see what happens here. I'm also going to put this down because I talked about some things that you might be able to kind of add to because trading is going to be just like us. We always are growing. Your knowledge of trading, your experience of trading is going to be evolving and growing as well. It's not going to be this flat, stagnant, stay still. You always see things. You always, it's an, I think life is always evolving and growing. So you do the same thing in trading. Now, I do highly recommend that you learn how to trade something before you start changing a lot of it. And we can get into that a little bit deeper conversation, or maybe on the YouTube lives on Saturdays when I do them. But let's go down. So this went up and it hit it out, and we kind of mentioned that the other candle went up and it wouldn't have hit our stop loss. Just so no matter what, we would have been out of that trade anyways. It would have lost. Okay? So now if that would have went down and hit our take profit, okay, which it did right there. So again, if we had our stop up there a little bit, so there's a couple things, right? If we had our stop up there a little bit, it would have been really close if it would have got us out with the spread and wouldn't have taken us out with the stop. So it was really close if that would have won anyways. Could have won at a 2-1 if we had our stop up there. Now, this is just one trade. So you don't want to start jumping up and moving your trade and trying to figure out this whole new thing off of one trade. Now, this consistently kind of keeps going against you and just hitting your stop loss and then goes down and hits your take profit. Okay? And I mean, consistently, you probably want at least 15 to 20 examples of it before you want to start trying to make a change. And then when you get 15 to 20 examples, that's just like, okay, it's starting to happen and I'm starting to notice it a little bit more. Then I'd go back and continue to back test to get 100 to 150 or 150 to 200 examples before I'm like, okay, I'm going to change it. So we always play the law of large numbers here. We have to get, because there's no absolutes, there's no guarantees in trading, meaning if we take this trade, it's going to do this. It's always a probability. It has a percentage to do this and a percentage not to do that. And we just play it with our ratios to make sure that what we're doing has the percentage above the minimum that we need to do to grow the account in the positive. So because there's always a part that this can just lose, you don't want to start making changes to your trade plan just based off of 20, 50 trades. You need a lot more trades over an extended period of time. And you need to find a place where you can back test and get a program that you can back test, 5-6 years of data. And, and the more you get, the more confident you should be. Okay, let's get to this other trade. I want to kind of keep these videos under 15 minutes. And I love coaching. I love talking about trading, and sometimes it can be difficult. But I don't want it to be painful for y'all to sit here and have to listen for an hour or 30 minutes to get a bit of information. Okay, so here we go. Now, the momentum, this is what I talked about yesterday. And I like this example because before this candle happened, it's a little difficult, right? We could probably say the momentum's up. It really didn't post down below this level, this zone. And my mentor told me it's kind of more of a zone type deal, right? So it kind of came down to that. So it really didn't break below that part. We kind of have this stuff going up here a little bit. It did just break this higher. So this candle, I might say the momentum might be in the up and would want to look for a buy trade. But then this candle happens. Right? And we kind of had this spot up here. Okay. We kind of had this spot up here. And this. And it kind of broke down below that. Right? So, if it would have stayed above that high, we might continue to say that the level is, or the momentum is going to stay there. Another thing too, I love the pressure line. It kind of acts as this living, breathing support resistance line once you kind of get used to it. And it broke below that. And so the momentum's kind of switched, or not switched. If it kind of had a green candle and then another red candle, I'd say that it's going into the down direction. And we can kind of start to see that this is maybe sitting up into a level. Okay. So maybe this is kind of sitting into a level. Maybe we're getting a little bit of consolidation. This high up here dropped. So you can kind of start, maybe the longer, I know this in the middle, this stuff is kind of looking a little nasty. But we kind of have a little bit momentum up here from these two highs, right? Again, it just broke this level here. There's some other stuff here, and it broke the pressure. So I'd be more comfortable for momentum's sake to say that right now might be in a little bit of a down position. And if it is ranging, you do want to start taking trades closer to, you want to take sell trades when it kind of bounces off the top of the range, and buy trades when it starts getting more down to the bottom of the range. And I know it's kind of been consolidating here a little bit, but this actually, where all these wicks are, this actually might be the range that it's playing in. Okay. And there's that one big long wick down there too. Okay? But this is probably closer to the range that this thing might kind of be sitting in right now with some of the information we're getting. Okay. So it is kind of sitting at the top of the range. Now, the one thing when I took this trade, it's like, okay, we're at 45, so we're going to put double our ATR here. It does put it above here, which I like, but it also pushes our take profit outside of this zone, which if the momentum has switched, we'll hit the take profit. Okay? The momentum hasn't switched, we're probably going to hit a 1-to-1. Now, this is what I'm talking about. You want to stick with something for a long period of time. And number one, if you're trading real money with this, you should have already back tested this and have a lot of numbers to say what you're doing, no matter what you're doing, that it's working, right? You should have a large number saying it's working. So we wouldn't want to change unless we got more data or enough data to build that confidence needing a change. So we're going to hit sell trade here. And look, um, you know, I lost. I do lose trades. Okay. And I've been doing this for a long period of time. Right. Now, when I first started out, there was a lot of red on here and not much green. Okay. But the more I continue to do this, there starts to be a lot more green and a lot less red. And that should happen with you as well if you are doing the proper stuff. Okay. So, never compare yourself with somebody else because they're probably at a different spot on the journey than you are. Get to see what they are doing, and not even what they're doing, because again, that's at a different level. What they did to get there. Always ask your mentors. Say, okay, cool. I want to work with you because of what you're doing right now. I like it. I see it. Perfect. But man, what did you do in my position? And one of my mentors that I'm following right now, unbelievable individual, says you don't want to bring people up to your levels. It's like your kids. You have kids and you're trying to make them be an adult and they're 12 years old. Do you know how much energy that's going to take? And they're not ready to be an adult yet. They will eventually, but they're not ready. You need to go down to their level, right? So anytime you're mentoring or coaching somebody, go down to their level. And then with them, you set goals that are maybe one or two, I like to use the word steps, but just one or two steps above their level to kind of motivate them. Okay. And you don't set goals that are 15 steps above somebody's spot they're at. They're just going to get frustrated and not do very well. All right. So let's go again. We want to always journal this stuff. So Control C. I did not share this sheet. I got to make sure I put this down. I got to figure out how to do this into the comments. Oh, my video is just getting posted, so I'll figure that out. Okay. So again, I'm going to come down here. I'm going to paste this. I think it's going to sell. I'm going to use momentum as well. And this is a little bit different of momentum. Okay. This momentum looks like in a range. It's at the top of the range. I do like the price went below. Pressure. And if we went back to that higher spot, the farther back, there is a little bit of a step too, right? And you could kind of put that over here. I don't know. We can say it does have a step based on a historical. I don't want to go too far back. You can always go too far back, but did have a little bit there. All right, now let's go see what happens here. Okay. We love it. That first candle, beautiful. Okay. We love that, right? And it's still kind of heading down right now as well. So looks like that momentum has kind of went down in the favor. I still would have maybe been okay taking a trade right here. As this starts to push farther away from the pressure, it usually has to come back before it wants to continue down. But that's for another day. So I kept it under 15 minutes today. I'm going to try to do that. I don't want to take up all your morning or all your evening whenever you want to watch these. I don't want you to have to spend an hour to get some information. So keep it under 50 minutes. If you like this, if you want some more information, if you are struggling, please use the comments, hit the like, hit the subscribe. That will help this get out to other individuals that are struggling. But other than that, I'm planning on doing a live on Saturday. I will let you know for sure on Friday. And then we can kind of meet. At least you can meet me. You see me and see who I am. Most people on here already know, but there might be some new people that aren't. But other than that, have a great Tuesday, and we'll talk to you everybody next time. Bye, everybody.